Welcome back to Irish Strength, and we are on the build-up to the official Strongman Ireland Open Championships. It's happening in a couple of weeks, and we're all really excited, and we're privileged to be joined by Ruairi O'Hagan. Thank you very much for joining us, Ruairi.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Thanks very much.
So I'd say you're just as excited as everyone else. How are you feeling for this?
I'm just training away. I never really know how I feel until I show up on the day. So I am happy enough. Happy enough with how training's going. So
you haven't been in the sport that long. How did you actually get into the sport? Because it's only a sort of few years you've been at Strongman.
Right. So I done my first Strongman competition there last March, which was up in McKeegan's gym, the Strength Games Qualifier. But before that, I was just training Strongman for about half a year before that with Paul Smith. So that would take you back to like July 2021, which is whenever I started taking training relatively serious. I suppose when I got into the gym when I was 18, so as part of Gaelic football, like strength conditioning training, and I was just sort of got stronger than all the boys there relatively quickly. But a few years just pissing about general gym stuff. I was still playing football, you see, so wasn't really going anywhere with it. And then COVID hit. So whenever COVID hit, I just sort of had nothing else to do but hit the gym.
That's actually something that everyone's noticed with yourself. Like you're 23, I think, at the moment. Am I right saying you're 23?
Aye, 23 a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
And your rise and your progression has been so quick. I think at Strom last year, I was talking about you, and I actually said, "Oh, Roy's going to do well, but he's one for the future." And you did really well at that comp, and then went to Ireland's, and we all saw how that ended with second place your first year doing it. Yeah. Has it surprised you how fast you've actually progressed?
No, not even. It's just about time something the work's finally paying off for the training. But no, I'm happy enough with my progress. It's as fast as I would like it to be.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I suppose, for everyone else, it looks quite quick, but when you're having to put in all the time.
Yes. Aye. There's definitely a lot of time for into it to get to this point. So, it's paying off, and I'm happy enough with how everything's going. So,
coming into this competition, how are you feeling for it? Is there anybody that you're looking at that you're thinking, oh, they could be a difficult one to beat, or do you see it that, first place is there for you?
No, I don't really concern myself going into these competitions. I don't really concern myself about other people's training. I'm not even looking at it. I'll look at it on Instagram, but I'm not really paying much attention or just focused on what I'm doing, and I'll show up on the day and give it 100%. And if that's good enough to get on the podium, or if that's good enough to win it, that's all you can really do.
But I think you'll probably go into this especially after Ireland's performance. You don't have to be afraid of anybody, because you've already proved that you pushed Killian right to the limit for Ireland's there. So I don't think there's any athlete there that you need to sort of worry about, really, is there?
I'm not focused on winning the competitions or podium the competitions. I'm just choosing the hardest competitions I can do at the minute. So if I had to jump into an open weight comp with boys 10 times better than me, I'd do it just for the experience. But at this stage, I'm just trying to get as many heavy, hard comps under my belt as I can get.
Looking back at the comps that you have done, like in your first year, it was UK's under 23s. You came first place in that. There was a Clash in the UK. I think you came first in that as well. And of course, now Ireland's, you came second in. You're right at the top already. Like, what is the going forward? Obviously, there's this competition, but what are you targeting next?
Everybody always says world's strongest man at some point. That's everybody's goal, but I'd like to get to that level at some point. So I'll just keep working until I get there. I want to be an open weight strongman. That's why you see I haven't done any of the 105 competitions, even though I'm sitting 106, 7, 8 kilos. My main goal is open weight, so I haven't really once I got over 105 kilos, once I hit 106, I said that's me done with the 105s. Couldn't be bothered by the diet and crack or water cuts or stuff like that. There just wouldn't interest me.
What is the weight that you would ideally sit at? Or do you have a number in your head that you'd like to get to? Or is it just see how it goes?
I don't track calories or I don't do anything like that. So just sort of whatever I show up at on the day, I'm training, I'm eating in a surplus and I'm training away. So I'm just getting heavier gradually. It's just a slow process. I think eventually maybe 115, 20 kilos the next couple of years will be a good goal. And then heavier from that if I decide to go further.
And the opportunity that this show obviously gives the athletes is a route to Worlds, but especially a route to Britain's Strongest Man, to Giants live show. That must be hugely exciting for you to have that opportunity.
It's definitely a great opportunity. The fact that you're one show away from competing with boys like Luke Stoltman, Tom Stoltman, Adam Bishop, all the big names. I wonder maybe just a few people above me or that I would have to beat to get to that level. That's definitely exciting, interesting.
Training at the moment, how the events are probably events that you've been doing on a regular basis anyway for this competition, but how have the individual events been going for you in the preparation?
My log would probably be my weakest event. So I've just sort of been mainly focusing on overhead sort of stuff. If I can get through the log, my expectation is, or I hope, that I can pick up points. I'll start gaining points in the events that come after it. Like deadlift is good for me. Yoke's good for me. Stones in the past haven't been good for me, but that's because I never trained them until now. If I can get to that point, or at the fifth event, I should still have some energy left in the tank. So maybe that's where I can close down a few boys if they're ahead of me. I might have the benefit of being on the lighter side and having more energy in reserve.
You mentioned it there, sort of that. I think one of your strengths is that you're a very quick athlete. Do you think that's a crossover from your footballing days, from your previous sports? How much has that actually helped you?
It's definitely. I've always been into any sport that could play it. When I was younger, I played it. Anything that was going. I have always been quick, even within them sports. I was quicker or faster, but it definitely pays off. Especially in the medley events. I haven't really had many medley events where you have to run back and forth between the bags, but I should catch up seconds there. I should make up seconds just by foot speed. It carries over to yoke and farm as well. I'm pretty good at the moving events.
You mentioned the yoke there. That would be traditionally quite a strong move for yourself. However, with the lower body weight, will this, because obviously it's a very heavy yoke going into this competition, have you had trouble with the weight, or has it been a breeze?
No, well, in training, haven't worked up as high as 400 yet. But no, I prefer a heavier yoke. I prefer to go heavier again, honestly.
And that is one thing that I struggle with yourself, because you don't post a whole lot of your training. There's not much up online to see how you're getting on. Is that just something that you don't use social media that much, or do you just not like letting people know where you're at?
Oh, it's not even that. I just when it comes down to it, recording the videos and editing the videos and uploading, I just can't be bothered with it. Just seems like too much of a hassle. And then maybe my training, well, to me, it wouldn't seem too interesting. Just doing the same things week in, week out. I don't know if anybody would be interested in seeing me lift numbers that aren't too exciting.
Like I said before we actually started, before everyone's interview, I ask on Instagram for people to send in questions. and yours is by far the most questions we've got in so far. So I'm actually going to touch on a couple of them now. Michelle Pilkington actually wanted to know if there was a different sport that you were going to do apart from strongman, what would it have been?
I'd probably still be playing Gaelic football. Maybe I went back to hurling, sort of quit hurling after minor age group. But if I didn't find strongman, I'd probably still be playing them sports. I'm probably better suited to CrossFit because I used to do cross country running.
Oh, that's blasphemy. We don't want to hear that word. Not on this channel.
I know. But physically, I'm probably better suited to that than strongman. But no, strongman's where my interests are. It's more entertaining.
And Tristan McDonough, I think we've already sort of answered this question, wanted to know what are your long-term goals. But I think, like you said, world's strongest man at some stage, getting to that level would be your dream goal.
Yeah. Definitely. I just professional strongman, just in the open weights. That's the goal.
The other question that came in was from one of your competitors that has unfortunately had to drop out, Daniel McElroy, and he wants to know, this time, are you going to beat Killian?
No, I'll not say yes or no to that question, Mark. I'll just I'll keep my cards close to my chest. Or it's all down to the day, and Killian's a good athlete, and he's looking very impressive.
Is there any of the events, I know we sort of touched on them there, I think it's probably the log. Is that the one that you're most sort of a little bit concerned about that you might drop points on?
I will drop points, but I'm hoping I can make it up after 4 good events after that, or 3 good. Well, I don't know. I'm saying maybe I have 2 good events after that, but I'm hoping the other 2, the medley and the stones, will go well enough that I can make up the points that I would drop on the log. But then you never know. Maybe all this log training is paid off, and I might pull out some
185 kg log or something like that. You never know.
No, I don't know. I doubt it, Mark. But yeah, you can just I'll pray anyway.
And the mentality side for yourself, I think it comes across quite clearly that you're quite a relaxed person. I wouldn't say a huge amount bothers you. However, what do you like when you're actually training? Does stuff get to you, or if you have a bad competition, can that play on your mind?
All the mental side of it's long gone now. I just sort of show up out to the gym, get the session done, just consistency, just show up, do this. The mental side really doesn't come into it for me. I just show up and do my session, and that's it. That side of it.
Are you training at a gym, or is it just your own setup, or do you have a coach, or what way have you got it structured?
I train in my own gym, just out in the garage in my parents' house. So I've all the equipment I need, really. I do go up to Matthew McKeegan's gym in Derry on the weekends there, just to train events like couldn't train, like stones or maybe dumbbell if it comes up in the comp or something. But I just mostly out of my own gym. What was the other part of that question, Mark?
Would you have a coach, or do you do your own sort of training?
I have coached with Paul Smith there since about July 2021.
So for somebody that obviously, like yourself, has only been in the sport a short time, and you're obviously still at a younger age, for anybody else that would be in a similar position as yourself a couple of years back, looking at strongman and sort of going, oh my God, that's only for the big, huge guys. I can't possibly do that. What would you actually say to guys that are looking at the sport, thinking about getting into it?
Just do your first competition, and then it'll continue on from there. It'll flow from there. You just need to show up, just get your training sessions done consistently, and you'll get better. I used to think, like, I'd see somebody on Instagram deadlifting this, and I'd think, oh, I'll never achieve that, and then you achieve it within like 6 months. But if you just keep showing up, keep putting in the work, you'll get results.
The key thing there is do your first competition. I think once everyone gets their first competition out of the way, start to relax a little bit and go, actually, it's quite a friendly environment, and it's, you know, if there was one person in the sport that inspired you to actually get into the sport, who would that have been, or is there somebody like that?
Probably Alexei Novakov, watching the 2020 World's Strongest Man. Never really had any idols or anything like that there, but he's the only. I seen him at the Arnold Expo in Birmingham, and you had to get a picture with him. I wouldn't ask anybody else for a picture, but I had to get a picture with him.
Because he obviously World's Strongest Man, and he would be on the lighter side of things compared to those huge big athletes, Brian Shaw and Tom, of course. Is that something that you can sort of a little bit relate to with Novakov, that you see in him a similar sort of route to yourself, the possibilities?
No, not even. I just like him because he's a bit of an underdog at the time. Even now, people still consider him an underdog because he is lighter. But honestly, the thought that I'm lighter doesn't even come into my head.
When you're going to the competition, for instance, what will be your prep on the day? Will you come down the night before? Will you come down that morning?
Usually, whenever it's far away, I'll come down the night before and I'll stay over. But this one's in Ballymoney, so it's only about 40-minute drive from my house or thereabouts. So I'll just get up in the morning and head down.
For myself, weirdly, when I am competing, and I'm not at the same sort of level comps as yourself, but sometimes I'd struggle to eat in the morning going into, especially if I'm doing a deadlift fairly soon. A lot of little things depend on the athlete. For yourself, do you have any problems with that, or do you just get a big breakfast into you and be ready for the day?
I just try to pile in as many calories as possible. Just get a big fry in the morning, and that sort of sets you up for the day. No, maybe I had nervous the first few competitions, but the more you do, you just sort of same procedure every time. You just show up and everything sort of runs the same way. You can just get through it. So I no real nerves or anything like that there.
Follow you, for instance, follow your lips and follow you on social media. Is there somewhere where they can do that, or do you prefer to keep it private?
They can follow my Instagram, but I can't guarantee they'll see anything. Just Ruairi_O'Hagan.
Perfect. And we'll put that in the description below. So anybody that is watching this, if you want to head over, give a follow, and you get to see, hopefully, a little bit of content going up there at some stage. You probably don't realize it, but I think you're quite a fan favorite out there. I think a lot of people are really excited about your progress through the sport. So I know a lot of people will be cheering on for you on Saturday, 2 weeks' time. So we'd love to wish you the best of luck with it, and I will definitely see you there on the day as well.
Thanks very much, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining us, Rory.